Good evening, True Voice Studio crowd. I'm Laura. We're going to dive right in tonight. I love tonight's subject matter. It is something that I come across quite often, and it is so important. Have you ever been to a concert, or maybe you're hearing someone do a special at church? Or any time, like they're doing a performance, it doesn't matter what the venue, but you hear somebody singing a song and they're really struggling, and they're struggling so bad that you feel nervous for them. Have you ever been there? Or maybe have you ever been on the other side of that, and you're the one on stage and you're singing a song and you are so not prepped, and you're, oh my gosh, and you freeze, your voice feels tight, your mouth then gets dry, here comes the stage fright, and the adrenaline kicks in. Ever been there? Okay, so we're talking tonight about some performance tips, song performance tips. And the first thing I want to recommend to you, that I've got 4 really key points. There's a lot more that goes into it, but if you follow these 4, just pay attention to these 4 things, I promise you, I guarantee you, it is going to improve your vocal performance. And it is also going to give you confidence, okay? So the first tip that I want you to be thinking of, good evening, Sarah. Sarah is here. It is so awesome to see you. She is on, welcome from YouTube. Awesome. Okay, so the first tip I have for you is you need to pick a song that fits your voice. In other words, pick a song that you're vocally capable of pulling off. Pick a song that is not too advanced for you. In other words, say you love Mariah Carey, but you've only ever sung music in church. Okay, and you maybe have just kind of sang a few praise and worship songs. There's 2 very different genres, but you're not used to singing licks and trills, and you pick a song that is, you're trying something that's beyond what your vocal capability is at this time. Maybe you're in the process of learning, but until you get those licks and until you get those trills or whatever that style that you're going for, until you're really getting it down and have rehearsed it and you're comfortable with it, stay away from songs that are going to be not comfortable for where you are at vocally. Super important. Okay, got that? Number 2 tip. The number 2 tip is pick a key, sing it in a key that is comfortable for your voice. Okay? I can't tell you how many times people feel like they have to sing a song in the key that the original artist sang it in, or they think for somehow that reflects on them badly, and okay, well, they're a bad singer, so I'm going to just go for the gusto, and they wind up totally bombing because it was either too low or it was too high. If you have a song, it's a good fit for you, but the original key that you're used to kind of humming and chumming along with, if it's too high, too low, change the key. The key is so important. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't try to pretend you're Mariah Carey, or don't try to pretend that you are somebody that you are not, okay? Be yourself, okay? Pick it in a key that's good for you, and I promise you, you'll feel much more comfortable, and you'll actually perform better when you're singing in a key that's right for you. So I have a question. Sarah is asking a question here. Hey, Sarah. Okay, so my 2 beautiful daughters, they're like my biggest fans. Okay, so anyway, Sarah says, what's licks and trills? Okay, so a lick and a trill are those crazy runs that you hear Mariah Carey doing, where they're going, they're just all over the map doing these runs and all these notes and these delineations, and they're just all over the place. That is a lick and trill. Now, a lick and trill can be something as nuanced also. It can be really stylistically crazy, and it can also be something as easy as, let me see, ooh, where you're doing a little walk down, or It can be something just little light, something very nuanced like that. Those are little licks and trills. But if your voice is not used to it, like if you're trying to, that's a little, it's a little trill or a little lick of its own, where you're doing a little glottal stroke, breaking, bringing it back in. I love doing stuff like that. You hear a lot of that in country, and there's some of it in gospel. There's ways to do that up and down, and they're really fun, really popular. Here again, only do what your voice is comfortable doing. It doesn't mean you're a bad singer. I promise you, you are going to sound like a terrible singer, even if in the bathroom or in your car or in your house, you actually sing way better than what you did when you just performed, okay? Because you didn't sing in a key that was comfortable for you. Okay, so the third thing is you need to know your singing material. If you have, whether you're singing one song or whether you're singing three, the time to learn it is not the night before. The time to learn it is not the day of the presentation or the song. The time, if you don't know your material, people are gonna know it. Okay. And it doesn't matter so much, even if you're not hitting all the right pitches, but if you just don't know your material, you're not going to pull it off that well. You're not going to be comfortable. The key to being comfortable and confident on stage is really being rehearsed, knowing your song. Yes, Sarah's writing down. She says, always be prepared. That's so true. Because if you're not prepared, I'm just telling you, that's like, say you're going to school for brain surgery. I don't know. Okay, Monica, you're a nurse and you're going to school for brain surgery. I don't know if you would just call that regular medical school, or if is there a classification for that? Monica says she loves my nail color. I'm picking up for my children. Okay, so what do you call someone who's going to school? Is there a name? Like, is it brain surgeon school or just medical school or med school? Or like, I know when you're going to nursing school, you're going to nursing school. So Monica, clue us in. If you're a brain surgeon, here's where I'm going with this. So you've got somebody there in brain surgery school, okay? But they just started. They're only like 2-3 months into college, right? They've got their prerequisites, they got all that, but the actual studying and the knowledge and everything, much less forget about practicing on a real human being, but just say, okay, someone's in med school and and you need brain surgery, okay? But they're not there yet. Would you trust that person to do a great job on your brain? I don't think so. You know why? Because, well, duh, right? if they don't know what they're doing, you sure don't want them taking a knife to your head, right? It's the same thing with your singing. You are singing, you are performing. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're singing something you're not familiar with, just don't do it. Just stick with something that you're comfortable with, something simple. The key here is less is more. And that's really true. Less is absolutely more. Okay. And my fourth tip for tonight. Yeah. Okay. So okay. So hang on just a second. Monica she's saying, let me see, you're saying, Monica, medical school. So I was kind of right there. And then the specialize in neurosurgery. Yay. If I was giving away a prize tonight, Monica, I would be giving it to you for for helping me out here. Okay. So, and Sarah, you too, you are always helping me out. So anyway, okay. So yeah, neurosurgery. So the fourth tip I want to leave you with tonight. Warm your voice. Warm up your voice. I'm going to say it again. Warm up your voice before a performance. I can't tell you here again, it is such a common thing, and it's just shocking that people do not warm their voice. I'm not talking about a 1-hour workout. I'm talking about warm your voice between 10 and 20 minutes before you go on stage, for crying out loud. If you warm your voice, I promise you, you are going to sing so much more proficiently. You're going to connect with your audience. You're going to be much more relaxed because your voice is not all locked up and cold, right? You're going to just do better. better. You'll be more confident. So important. So those are just 4 tips I'm going to leave you guys with tonight because they're really important. I see and hear a lot of it. And you know what? So you know what I'd like? If you've ever been in that situation where you've been performing and you're the one on stage, but you weren't prepared, you really didn't know the song or you weren't sure of the music, and then all of a sudden you locked up and you got stage fright, just let me know in the chat if that has ever been you. Or if you've ever observed somebody like that and they're just singing so very badly and you're like, oh, but you human nature is when you see someone embarrassing themselves like that, you feel bad for them. You're like, oh my gosh, you kind of hurt for them and you're kind of sweating the load with them in the audience. So anyway, let me know, respond. Let me know if any of you have had anything happen to you like this, because it's really actually easy fixes, guys. Singing confidently on stage, it's easy to do if you are prepared. Sarah wrapped it up beautifully. She says, be prepared. And that's so true. It's like just flat out know your stuff. Okay, so we're going to reiterate that. If you want, write this down, okay? So the performance tips for tonight are: number 1, you need to pick a song that fits your voice. That's a good fit for your voice. That's not too advanced for you or not overly simple. Just pick a song that you're comfortable with, something that's in your vocal capabilities, okay? The number 2 thing is, for crying out loud, pick the song in a key that is comfortable for you. Don't try to sing a song in the original key, whether it's high or low, in the original artist's voice. Just modify it, put it in a key that's comfortable for you. And I promise you, it's going to just be like a little miracle happened. And it's going to boost your confidence. You're going to be like, oh, I got this. This is so much easier than thinking and straining like, I got the whole song except during the chorus, I can't hit those last 2 words and I'm like freaking out. And then you wind up pulling, stretching, your voice glitches, it just poops out on you. When you start getting nervous on stage, start getting stage fright. One of the things that you have stage fright is that adrenaline starts kicking in, and your heart can kind of start pounding fast. You can maybe even feel a little woozy. But one of the first signs is going to be your mouth is going to become really dry. All of a sudden, it's like your tongue just sucked up dry and you have no moisture in your mouth, and then you're nervous. You're feeling a tiny bit nervous. That's adrenaline from stage fright. That goes away it really does go away with rehearsal and with time as well. So the practice makes perfect. That is really, really true. So the more often that you perform live, that's going to go away anyway. That's just a byproduct. And pretty soon you just got to you're really all excited, and then you can really love your audience, and you can just look forward to interacting with them in the live setting, as opposed to being freaked out and dreading just getting up on stage and worrying you're going to drop your microphone or whatever, okay? So, and then the number 3 thing, okay, so yeah, Sarah says, pick a song that fits your voice. For crying out loud, pick a song in a comfortable key for you, Sarah. You are so good. And then the 3rd thing, tip number 3, for crying out loud, know your song. Know it. Rehearse it. The time, and then stick to what you did when you were rehearsing it. I've actually done this once in a live thing, and I don't think a lot of people really clued in a ton on it, but I knew, and it was like, I just like, why did you even do that? I wanted to do a lick and hit a note that was, and I hadn't really rehearsed it a bunch, but I knew I had rehearsed it. Like I had kind of hit and miss at home in the kitchen or in the bathroom singing and doing my rehearsals. And I knew this song, but I was keeping it simple and like comfortable for me. And then I tried to hit a high note, and my voice just kind of locked up. It was like awful. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed. And then the second that starts happening, you have just sabotaged yourself. So you either have to suck it up and get over it and move on, which fortunately, thank the good Lord, I was able to do. But afterwards, I was even bawling when I was thinking, oh, that was awful. I'm never singing again. But it was my own fault because I tried doing something that I really wanted to do, and I had rehearsed it a couple times, but I didn't know it. I wasn't comfortable with it. I thought, oh, well, I'll just throw it in there because I had the energy, and I bombed, and it was not fun. It wasn't pretty. And I was actually opening for, I was opening actually for Mercy Me, the Christian group Mercy Me. So, and I remember coming home just like, oh, when I was watching the replay, I was just like beating myself up. I was so upset. Okay. Fourth number tip. Okay, anybody know the fourth one? Yeah, this is going to test you to see if you've been paying attention. Let me know if you know the fourth tip. Anybody? Ooh, ooh, ooh. The fourth tip, going once, going twice. Going twice. The fourth tip, okay, you guys don't get an A, but you almost get an A. Sarah, it is warm up your voice before a performance. Warm up your voice. Okay, super simple. Warm your voice. Just take the time, prep your voice, okay? So anyway, I got to dive into some of these comments. Okay, so that's so funny. Speaking of crying, okay, Sarah, you got it. You did. Monica, I don't see you. I don't know if you're still here, but you're probably, I don't see you responding. If anybody else is on, please share your stories because this is just fun stuff. Okay, so we won't get into the hair dye situation. That's a story for another day, you guys. The one time in my life, I'll just tell you. The one time in my life I tried coloring my hair. I wanted highlights for Monica's wedding, for my daughter's wedding. And I went to somebody that she was like, oh, I can do it. And she did highlights, but she literally, she, bless her heart, she didn't know what she was doing, but I was the one who paid with it. I had never colored my hair. She stripped the color straight out of my hair. You guys, I had, let me see if I can, okay, I had streaks that were this white, like white, the Elvira strips. You guys know who Elvira is. I looked so awful. It was just really bad. Okay, so anyway, so Sarah, my daughter, we're like, okay, I'm crying. I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, because I was just like, oh my gosh. So I send her to the store to get a darker highlight. And she didn't know what she was doing. It's like, why was I putting that pressure on my poor child? So anyway, she goes to the store, to Walmart or something, and gets a box of dye to darken the highlights, right? It was kind of like an auburn color. And so she goes to put it on, but she didn't know what she was doing. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So we're there in the bathroom, and she rinses out my hair, and you guys, it looked like someone had dumped reddish orange paint, like splashed right on the top of my head. And plus I still had my white streaks. And so I'm in the bathroom by this time, weeping and sobbing. Okay, here. Okay, I'm a worship leader. I have to be I'm in charge of people. I'm every single week. You know, you're worshiping, you're leading worship live in a large church, and then of course singing and stuff. And at the time we were gigging actually quite a lot, and I had these Elvira white stripes and this splotch on top of my head. So anyway, my husband, he tells me, because I was like, okay, can you go back to Wally World and get another box of dye to reverse that? And I was like, Russ was like, wait, time out. And he says, the man who has never died, he's like, you would think, men generally don't know anything, but he had more common sense than me, and both of us combined. He says, just go get a box of dye that matches her hair color, just a plain old brown. Go get it and then we'll just put that on her head and just leave it to cover it up. So anyway, she did, and that worked. And you guys, I still had that dark brown actually made my streaked white hair, it turned those white strands blonde. So that's how bad the color was stripped out of my hair. So never again. So anyway, we're talking about horrible horrible experiences, and I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what brought that up, but anyway, I had to tell you the story since she's in. So it has nothing to do with singing, kind of, sorta, but anyway. All right. So anyhow, let's see what we've got here. Monica, that's so horrible. I don't want to put your comment on the thing, Monica. I'll let people read it. It's not complimentary. She did her best. I do believe the lady did her best, but since then, and this is a really long time ago, and I do not color or dye my hair. Never again. I figure if I start going gray enough, then I'll dye it. But up until then, we're leaving the hair alone. Okay, so that has nothing to do with anything, but I hope you guys have had fun with this. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So I see we've got somebody else on. Before I get off tonight, I want to make sure, let me check my page here. Do you have any questions? Anybody that's watching, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, we've been going over tips tonight. For those of you who have just joined in, where I gave you 4 very key vocal tips on performance in improving your performance. Super, super, super important stuff. All right, let me see if I've got anybody else. Let's see who else is here. George, are you on? George Riley. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh, hi. If you're not there, if you haven't said hi or you're still there, George, put a thumbs up or something if you're still there. Okay, so George is there. George is a fantastic bass player, and he's just an amazing musician. He absolutely loves music too, and I know he's been on worship teams and served in his church, and he's just a really, really very fine musician too. So George, thank you. It's so awesome to see you. So he is definitely in the music biz too. Okay, let me see if I have anything else. Let me see. I don't think I have anybody else on. So if you have any questions, there are 2 places you can leave questions. You can leave them under the feed in tonight's video feed after we sign off. Of course, you can ask questions now before we get off, or for those of you who are watching or you think of something after the broadcast today, be sure to write it in. There is a question section where in the posted at the top in my Facebook and in my Instagram, and also I don't think I have it on YouTube, but just if you've got a question, put it on my YouTube channel, whatever you find more comfortable, but leave the questions there, because I do look at them and I do respond, and I really, really look forward to our next live. These are fun, and I love seeing our little group as we're growing and stuff. Just so wonderful to see everybody here tonight. Okay, if you all don't have any more questions, any more comments, I'm going to go ahead and sign up. Sarah says my chair needs WD-40. You guys, it does. My chair needs WD-40, and also I need to vacuum it, because one of my cats, I have 3, and Princess, Sugar Princess is her name, and she's got really long, luxurious fur, but she lays in my chair. She thinks my chair is hers, so it's hairy. So I get up and I have a hairy backside after I get off my chair. So anyway, it's so good to see you guys and to hang out with you. Let me know if you have any questions. If you rewatch this and you do want to, you have any questions, please let me know. You can private DM me if you don't want to leave a question in public. And like I said, we got some really fun things coming up here. So as always, I'll keep you posted. You guys let me know if you have any questions. And I just pray that you guys stay well, stay healthy, be blessed, keep singing, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.